Hey everyone, my name is Jen. Welcome to my channel where I talk to you about everything money, business and investing. Today I'm going to talk you through how much money I made running an Airbnb in the first year. So we bought our Airbnb property back in 2021, just before the COVID lockdown hit. We did wonder what we were doing and whether we should pull out of the property sale, because a lot of people were pulling out of property purchases because of the uncertainty of COVID. But we're glad we didn't, because after COVID, obviously the property market boomed and we have seen a big growth in the capital value of the property. Today, I'm going to share with you how much money we made in our first year running it as an Airbnb. COVID didn't seem to impact it really at all. We were quite lucky in that when the lockdowns happened, didn't coincide with popular holiday periods. So we had our popular summer time period and it wasn't impacted by lockdown at all. In the first year, we made sales of 51,000 New Zealand dollars. I had the property not only advertised on Airbnb, but also VRBO/Book-a-Batch. They're the same group of companies, and also booking.com. So we made sales of about 51,000 New Zealand dollars in our first year, which is about 30,000 US dollars or 23,000 British pounds. There is a lot of expenses that come off that. So the main expenses to come off that were mortgage interest. We paid just over 13,000 New Zealand dollars in mortgage interest. It cost us 13,750 New Zealand dollars to set the property up as an Airbnb. After the first year, we ended up coming off booking.com because I found that the problem guests that we had stay all tended to come from booking.com. And I put this down to the fact that you can't tailor your property description as much as you can on Airbnb and Book-a-Batch on booking.com. It's just like a bullet pointed list of your rules and what are the things that you offer. So I had problems with people bringing dogs when dogs aren't allowed in the property, and people having parties on New Year's Eve, having complaints from neighbours, and those guests all seem to come from booking.com. So I decided to come off there, and 3 years later we are having great guests come from Airbnb and Book-a-Batch. When I first employed a cleaner, I wasn't 100% sure that I would stick with it and it would be full time. The reason why I got cleaners in the first place was because I had my second child, Ava, and she was a little baby and I just couldn't get out of the house really to do the cleaning of this holiday house. It took a huge weight off my shoulders when I did get the cleaners, and 3 years later, I'm still employing cleaners to come and clean the house because it's really not possible for me to do the cleans without them. I work full time, and when you've got a double changeover, you need to do the cleaning in the window of like 3 to 4 hours. So getting cleaners was a great decision. My top tip for looking for a bedding and linen supplier would be don't skimp, but then you don't need to necessarily go for the most expensive luxury brands either. Look for hotel bedding suppliers, which is, I ended up finding a company in New Zealand called Vendela, and they've got this really helpful thing on their white fitted sheets and their flat sheets, in that they have a little coloured stitching around the outside, which is actually not visible to the guest, which dictates how big of a bed it goes on. So if you've got a whole pile of bedding and you're searching through for like, you know, a single sheet, or you're looking for a queen sheet, then it has the coloured stitching around the outside dictates what size bed it goes on, and then it does also have a little tag on it that either says single, king, queen, double, which is actually so helpful. When I was first starting out, I bought some 1,000 count flat sheets from a discount store over here in New Zealand. So they were meant to be like luxury hotel quality, but from a discounted store, and they were horrible. Like when they came out of the wash, they were so crumpled up, they would have to be ironed if you wanted to use them for an Airbnb guest. And there was no way, with how busy we are over the summer, that I was going to iron these sheets. So it took a bit of trial and error to find the right bedding supplier, but I went with a company called Vendella that supply hotels and Airbnbs. They've got really good quality sheets, but when they come out of the wash, they are not crumpled. I can just dry them on the line. I don't need to iron them before use. Thanks everyone for watching. I hope you got some useful information out of this video. If you're thinking about starting up your Airbnb, I would say go for it. Join me in my next video where I'm going to talk through the following years of running an Airbnb and how our income and profit has fluctuated.